You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Echo, Flynn's Path. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go! Alright, I guess I could try. Great. Leo hops down off the deck, but at that moment a big rusty truck pulls into the driveway of Carl's house. It's Flynn, and next to him in the passenger seat is an unconscious-looking ram. The hell? Flynn parks before slowly and quietly opening the door. Flynn, what the hell are you doing? Leo whisper yells it as he walks up to the truck, glancing over at Carl, who's leaned back in the seat with his mouth hanging open. Even from here I can hear him snoring. Hey, Wolf, if you still want it to be a surprise, you'll shut up. What the hell are you doing? Flynn rolls his eyes. We went to the reservation. What? Why? Because it's something we do sometimes? I texted you that we were going to surprise him. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Flynn rubs the back of his scaly head. Just a little bit late is all. Started winning more than I usually do, so Carl and I stuck around for a little longer. You were gambling? Of course, but because that's all the reservation is good for, huh? Whoa! Flynn holds up his hands defensively. What's with all of you? Flynn's eyes settle on me, and for some reason I feel my heart give a jump. Chase, what the hell crawled up everyone's ass? I feel like the answer should be obvious, but if Flynn's trying to get things at least somewhat close to normality, then I'm fully behind him. You know how Leo is, his way or the highway. Leo shoots a glare at me, but I grin at him, trying to lighten the jab. I sense TJ further back behind me, separate from our group. I really wish I knew what he's thinking right now. He lets out a tiny growl before turning back to Flynn. I feel like you could have at least told us. Flynn sighs and glances back at the ram sleeping in the truck. Well, why don't you guys go inside so this whole surprise thing isn't as weird? It's locked. Flynn walks over to Carl's side before turning to us. Going through the back. There's a key under the doormat. We get into position in front of the door. TJ's a little more enthusiastic, hiding against the wall to the left of the door, a party popper in his hand. I hear a soft clopping along with the low murmur of Carl's voice. The door swings open. Dude, I just want to put it behind me and not... Surprise! Carl stands there, frozen as strings of confetti drape across his horns. For a moment, it goes completely silent and we all stare back at him. Finally, TJ giggles. Oops, I didn't mean it to get on your horns. TJ goes about picking the confetti off Carl's head. His hesitant movements making it obvious how hard he's trying to avoid touching the horns. What? Carl finally breaks the awkward silence as he continues to stare at all of us, pushing TJ's hands away to pull the confetti off himself. Leo steps forward, a clearly forced smile on his face. Your birthday. Happy early birthday. Carl continues to stare. Flynn steps up to his side and puts an arm around his shoulder. Yeah, you know. There isn't much to do around here, so we had to come up with something. But a birthday party for me? It's not for another month. Be happy, Carl. This is probably the last birthday party you'll ever get. Carl opens his muzzle and snaps it shut, his long ears twitching around. Carl, this is basically just a party. Your birthday is just an excuse to have it. Oh, come on, Jenna. We got you gifts and everything. Jenna? That's weird. Leo nods at me, and I take that as my cue to lift my bag into the air, grinning sheepishly. I mean, it was Leo's birthday last month. So what? You want to just re-gift everything to him? Flynn gives a hard tug on one of Carl's horns, and he swats at Flynn's hand with more annoyance than I'm used to seeing him have. And cake! TJ raises the cake in the air. Flynn leans against Carl, pointing at it. See? Red velvet, your favorite. I'm silently thankful that Flynn's trying this hard not to let Carl freak out. I think we're all a little taken aback at how much he's resisting. Carl's shoulders do droop a bit at the sight of the cake, though. Where are your plates? Jenna's over at the cupboards, opening a few and looking inside. This kitchen is huge. Second one over. At that point, we've managed to shake off the awkward haze we're in and start moving to the table. So, we got the whole day planned out for you. Yeah? Carl stands at the end of the table, one hand on a chair as he watches all of us. I knew Carl wouldn't really be into the idea of a party. I didn't think it would be this bad. I wonder if his anxiety has gotten worse since the incident at the university. We're going out to eat later, and then a movie. Thought you might want to see the new Luce Lobo film, you know? Carl's hands go up to pull the beanie tighter over his head. Well, as long as you don't tell the waiters that it's my birthday. Oh yeah, isn't that place by the theater where they basically force you to wear one of those cone hats? Yep. I swear to God, if one of them gets all touchy with my horns and trying to put it on. What, you'll blow pot smoke at them? 1 second, y'all. I think it's kind of fun. TJ's struggling to pull the plastic dome off the cake. Leo reaches out to help him, but it pops free at that moment and takes a large glob of frosting off the side of the cake. Ah! Good one, Tej. We can give that piece to Carl so he can stay on his diet. Flynn puts air quotes around the word diet. An awkward silence follows, one that Flynn clearly notices, and I see him sulk in response. Carl coughs. I didn't have breakfast, so this should be fine. Leo claps his paws together. While we're having cake, why don't we start opening your presents, huh? Carl grabs the bag and unceremoniously dumps it out onto the table. He goes through them, giving an obligatory thanks when he finds out who gave it to him. I see my gift for the first time along with Carl. It's a horn band in black and orange. University of Pueblo colors. We used to make fun of the jocks that wore them at Pueblo. Thanks? He looks at me, as if trying to figure out I'm joking or not, and I can only offer a pained smile in response. It's only now that I'm feeling guilty for not getting him the present myself. I'll give him another one on his real birthday. Flynn steps forward at that point. Here's mine. Something I got from the reservation. Flynn reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small and hidden in his hand. When Carl sees it, his eyes widen. Oh, wow! It looks like a rectangular piece of metal with 2 points sticking out the top. It's not until Carl pushes a thumb against one of those horns that it pops open that I realize that it's a lighter. Now you won't look like a total loser when you get blazed. Carl gives Flynn a small smile before flicking the lighter on before snapping it shut. Thanks, man. Don't worry about it. Store owner actually gave me a discount. They still remembered me from all the smokes I used to buy there. You went all the way to the reservation for that? Cigarettes are untaxed on the reservation. Another thing is useful for, huh, Flynn? A chill descends over the room again, after it had just warmed up. I went there for the casino. The cigarettes were just... Flynn stops and frowns, looking confused and hurt. At this point I start to feel myself wanting to stick up for him. The rest of the party is stiff and uncomfortable as Flynn stews in the corner. Finally, Leo stands up and tells us to get out to the car. Leo gives Flynn a look, and I can tell he's going to confront him on something. Quietly, I linger towards the door and listen as the rest of them head out. Oh, so now I just can't say anything to him, huh? Flynn. The look on Leo's face is deadly. His eyes are narrowed, ears flat against his head, teeth bared. Flynn's initial indignation cools and he backs up. You promised me that you wouldn't fuck this up. You said you wouldn't cause any problems. I was fucking trying to make things better. Can you read a fucking room? No one wanted you to say anything to him. What, so I'm just gonna let things stay like this for the whole week? Well, that's kind of your fault, isn't it? I'm trying to be nice to him. And did you see Jenna? She's not fucking helping. You know how TJ is. Just leave him alone. He's a fucking adult. He's not some little kid you have to protect. That's why it's been years and little shit hasn't manned up enough to say that what actually happened. Leo's hackles flare. See? That's what this is about. You only want another chance at him. Leo's looking at Flynn with pure disgust on his face. Sounds like you think I just want to fuck him. I wouldn't put it past you, slut. Flynn leans back with a smirk. And I'm not the only one with ulterior motives, eh? Flynn's eyes flick to me. Leo doesn't even say anything in response, instead just letting out a rough snarl. Flynn only flinches a little, but doesn't move, just folding his arms, staring hard at the wolf. I don't want to see you talking to him again this week. If you do, I'll shove your fat tail so far up your ass. Buy me a drink first. Chase, get out to the car. I jump as Leo snaps his head in my direction. I'm torn about this. I don't feel like Flynn did anything wrong. I'm trying to talk to TJ. But if what Leo suspects is true... I think I need to... Alright, cool. Leo punches the door frame on his way out, swinging the door shut with a smash. Flynn retains his position against the back of the couch, his arms folded, coolly chewing on his toothpick. We both listen to the sound of Leo's truck starting up before it fades as they pull out. Look over to the leftover cake on the table, wondering if I should clean up just to give myself something to do. The glob of cream stuck to the side of the plastic dome gives me a jolt of genuine sadness at the mess this whole get-together has turned into. Flynn, meanwhile, retains his slouch sulking. Finally, the pressure is too much and I feel the need to say something. So... As if that was his cue, Flynn turns on his heel and stalks out the door. Hey! I scramble to follow him out the door, feeling more annoyed than sorry for him at this point. Where are you going? Flynn doesn't say anything as he walks up to the truck and yanks open the driver's side door. He slams it shut just as I walk up to the door. What the fuck? He finally does turn to me then, shifting the toothpick around in his mouth before he speaks. What? What do you mean, what? You can't just take off. Why not? Flynn arches his prominent brow at me, and I struggle to think of what to say. It's not like he owed me anything. I just didn't stick up for him at all back there. Was he expecting me to? Oh, excuse me. As far as he knew, I just needed to get my project done. I thought you could give me a ride. Flynn smirks at me. Where? To the mine? You serious? I mean, it's a few miles away. You know it's sealed up and everything, right? Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean I can't get a few shots of the outside. Flynn sighs heavily, and that annoys me more than anything else. Whatever, man. I turn around and start heading up the road, not even sure if it's the fastest way to the mine. For the next 10 seconds, I walk briskly up the road, but Flynn's car doesn't start up. I already know that he's going to relent before he says it. Fucking hell! Hey! I turn around, trying not to smile. What? You know what? Get in! I try not to look too eager as I make my way over to the passenger side and hop in. Think you're smart, don't you? I roll my eyes. I don't think anything. You're the one shooting yourself in the foot all the time. Whatever, man. I stare through the bars of rebar into the darkness of the old mine. There's a damp, cold breeze coming from inside, but all I can smell is dirt. Yep, beautiful, ain't it? Might as well just slap that mine gel on our flag. Represents the town pretty good. Flynn leans against the truck, chewing on another one of his toothpicks. There's an unsettling feeling about the whole place, and I'm kind of glad Flynn is with me because of it. It's a good 3 miles from the town center, and the gravel road isn't deserted. Our only company is a few crumbled ruins and foundations scattered every 20 feet or so. The only sign of modernity is an oddly placed long patch of asphalt and 2 small lampposts at the end of it. The town had tried to turn the area into a tourist destination a decade ago, but the recession put a hard stop to that. It seems to be a running theme in the town's history. Progress halted by outside forces. Don't you have some say in that? I mumble absent-mindedly, messing with the settings on the camera. No. I'm the clerk. I just mess with records and shit. It's still hard for me to imagine Flynn working in that position. Shouldn't you be there now? It's still before 5. Maybe, but why bother? What? He looks up at me, toothpick bobbing around in his mouth, eyes wide as he shrugs. What? You think anyone's gonna notice? I get paid to do nothing. But won't you get fired? It's an elected position. Well, unelected then? It goes unchallenged every year, Chase. I frown. Does Flynn have any sense of duty? Flynn takes the toothpick out of his mouth and stabs it in my direction. Hey, I didn't bring you here to get lectured about how to do my job. I've been doing it the past 3 years. Flynn shoves the toothpick back in his mouth. Anyway, I was kidding. I'm part-time. I get my shit done and I leave. I set the camera on the tripod and look through the lens. Don't me. There's a good amount of satisfaction I get out of teasing Flynn. I mean, your cousin or whatever is the mayor, right? My aunt is, and so what? Isn't that nepotism or something? Flynn sighs heavily behind me. Elected. Alright, just seems kinda, I don't know, like not a good thing. As I film, I can hear him really start to grumble behind me, so I try to change the subject. Well, it's good to see you're still not smoking anymore. The toothpicks helping? Not right now, they're not. Flynn had smoked since he was a freshman in high school. I distinctly remember him offering me cigarettes when I was like 14. Another little bit of antimatter. Starship Velociraptor. Oh man, that's such a good song. He always gets pissed off when I remind him about that. I pick up the camera and move it to a different angle. Well, maybe you could give Leo a few pointers. He doesn't say anything, and I close my eyes when I remember what just happened with the wolf. I film for another minute, then turn around to face him. I'm sorry about what happened. Flynn doesn't look at me, instead choosing to stare out at the desert. Why? You didn't do anything. But I could have, and this project is why we're here in the first place, isn't it? Flynn sighs and finally looks up at me, his eyes all the more piercing under the bright sunlight. You know, one thing I cannot stand is people apologizing over nothing. I frown. What does that mean? Yeah, you can apologize, but in the end, all it's doing is making you feel better while fixing nothing. I glare at him, feeling my face get hot, even more than it is in the desert heat. He shrugs and leans against the car, head tilted back and eyes shut against the sun. I stalk over to stand in front of him, and I can see a smile playing at the edges of his muzzle. Man, fuck you! On the last word, I jab a finger into his stomach. His eyes fly open and he grunts loudly, doubling over. Jeez, Chase. I fucking stayed in the shithole for you while everyone else is having fun, and this is the thanks I get? Oh, so you stayed behind just for me. Flynn stays curled up, rubbing his stomach. His face is inches from mine, and he's still got that stupid grin on his face. You're an asshole. Ah, Chase, my heart. He clutches at his chest dramatically. I like your stomach. I poke at it again, but he reacts too quickly, his lithe torso bending out of the way. You can't keep your hands off me, can ya? I just fold my arms, glaring at him. Flynn finally straightens up, looking around. Well, I'm not going to do a repeat of yesterday. I've got a house, you know. Is he talking about how he fooled around yesterday, and that he's inviting me back to his house? Or more specifically, his bedroom? I swallow. I don't want to look too eager, like that's the only reason I stayed behind. You know, I'm a little hungry. You want to go out and get something first? Flynn snorts as he gazes down at me. What, from the diner? You know how that fucks me up. I think. You said you'd cook for me a few days back. Flynn sighs, rubbing a hand behind his head. What is this, some kind of date? Well, you said you prefer dinner first before... I trail off as Flynn raises a brow at me. I said a drink. We can have that, too. Flynn looks off into the desert again, thinking. Fine, but I'm gonna get you back for that poke. I smirk. Yeah, well... As he turns away from me, his tail comes in and knocks against my crotch. It wasn't all that hard, but it's enough to make me feel it in the bottom of my stomach. Ah, fuck, come on! I walk bow-legged for a few seconds as I move to gather up my equipment. I don't think that was an equal exchange. That's because you ain't a lizard. Now hurry your ass up. Flynn's house is a ranch-style adobe home. He moved here only a few years ago, so it's my first time seeing it. It's an alright place. My housemate's quiet and keeps to himself, so it's almost like I have it to myself. You got a housemate? Well, yeah, don't need the whole house. Saves a decent amount of money, too. We pull in next to a kind of foreign-looking faded yellow scooter. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.